please go.
Okay, the Jonathan Jarvis presentation.
Should have in your packets a little handout on that. They're doing a couple of tours of short hikes, long hikes in my opinion. 7 miles is long, 4 miles is a little bit better. They are going to have several exhibits and displays set up. I know that the Appalachian Trail, the Natural Bridge Appalachian Trail Club, and the Appalachian Trail organization itself are going to have some exhibits. They're going to be doing some sawing demonstrations. I believe the AT Mouse is going to make an appearance. I think they're having some kind of a leave no trace display where you will go through some kind of an exercise with them. And I think they're also talking about litter on the trail and why you don't want to litter on the trail and some things like that. But they are having some activities. All of that's going to culminate and end at about 11:45. At 11:45 to 12 o'clock, everybody's just kind of getting ready to do the presentation, at which time the mayor will, I guess, welcome everybody to town, introduce Mr. Jarvis, do some kind of unveiling with that we named this street after him, and do that, and present him with a key to the town. And that's about it.
I'd like to point.
Let me just say, I've made sure that the Lurchins know about it, because I also spoke to the sister of the Eagle Scout who took the AT shelter on as a project. He's working in Roanoke, so I've asked if he could try to make an appearance. So I thought it would be nice at that point to recognize the Rortons for their efforts with the AT shelter. Obviously the Eagle Scout and the Episcopal Church for their ongoing financial support of some of the things that have been over there too. It'd be a nice time to say, for us as a community, to say thank you to them too.
Did you say next year was the big year for the AT?
They're expecting about a 40% increase in hikers due to the movie Walk in the Woods. If you haven't seen it, I will tell you to go see it. It's hilarious. You will laugh your socks off. It's hilarious. Nick Nolte and Robert Redford are great together.
I'd like to just make a remark that I noticed on our Facebook page, in the Glasgow, Town of Glasgow Facebook page, there was a remark by one of the citizens that it's hard for them to get information. They wish they had the information earlier. And I mentioned that, yes, it had been covered in the News Gazette. I've seen an article in the News Gazette about it. But we had started a newsletter, but we have lost traction with it. I'm going to keep this up. If it takes another 5 years, we need to communicate better. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kendall. Okay, C, authorization to purchase new truck body, snowplow, and salt spreader.
This is an updated proposal that we gave you back in the early summer, I believe. The truck went up, I think, $1.75, so there wasn't much change in all of these figures. But what we're proposing is that we would buy a new crew cab diesel pickup truck with a snow plow, with the snow and towing packages included, no bid. It's under state contract. The cost is $34,837.64. Purchase a snowplow unit and a utility bid for that truck. The combined cost is $11,777.50. Take the existing utility bid off the 2004 pickup, install it on the 2005 pickup. Swap them, because what we want is the four-wheel drive truck with the flatbed on it, so we can put a salt spreader on it too. And then we'll have two four-wheel vehicles with both snow plows on them if we need them, and one of them will have snow plow and salt spreader capability. And the total cost of all of that is $49,016. And I'm subtracting out that we feel like we can sell the surplus vehicle for about $6,000 on Gov Deals. the gross cost is 55,016, and then if you subtract out whatever we sell for the surplus truck for, would bring you down to a net figure.
Where does that 2004 end up being in like our, I don't know that we really have it, we did it one time, an actual replacement cycle for us? And I know we kinda got sidetracked off on, we were putting money aside for vehicle purchases and they were supposed
I
to
mean,
be
as you
assigned
can
as.
see, we've got an 04 and an 05, and they've lasted the 15, so the trucks are lasting 10 or 11 years, and we feel like the four-wheel drive is still in good shape, so we're not proposing to getting rid of that. So I think that, we can that's probably good for another, hopefully, let's say 5 years or so. And then I think we would want to say, let's look at replacing that, because I don't think we want to get in the cycle of having to replace 2 pickup trucks at one time, so start spacing some of this out.
Well, we haven't really had a dedicated replacement of, not just those trucks, but any of the equipment.
I don't know, if
within
you talk to Drew Havens, he said, yeah, the council adopted one way back when he was here, but I haven't yet to find it or see that.
Well, at one time we did, and we were
Jeff's done
setting
some
aside
work.
vehicle replacement money.
Well, that's what,
And then that kinda, I went to Ray when Ryan was here, and Paul never followed up, so it kinda has been probably 4 years, and it's been totally out of cycle.
let me back up and say, we've got, $200,000 in a CD. We have about $85,000 in the local government investment pool, that we're not using. This is all just, I call that kind of investment money. After being here through the full 12 months, our checking account right now has a balance of about $458,000 in it, which is easily $200,000 more than we need. And I'm saying that because of just cash flow needs because of the water project right now, that sometimes I have to write a check, like I just got the last bill for the contractor came in today for $222,000. So if the state's lagging behind in their payments, sometimes I will make a payment to the contractor knowing that I'm gonna get a payment in within the next week or so. So I like to make sure that we have some cushion there, but after that project, we don't even need a balance of $200,000 in our checking account. So there's a fair amount of, I would say comfortably to you all, that there is about $480,000 that you all have accumulated in reserves that is sitting there. That is really that money you're talking about, Roger, for future expenditures.
Where are we on the actual vehicle fund, which is supposed to be an
He's saying it's
established
not
fund for
He's saying it's not
replacement?
there.
How
It's
much
not
is in
there.
it? I mean, we had vehicle funds a
You
couple
do have
years
one.
ago.
I would have to go back over the office and pull that number out, because when you all let me consolidate all of those funds, you had about 6 checking accounts. And we took the money that was in the vehicle replacement fund and all of those funds and put them into one fund. But I know the balance that was in each one of those accounts and have saved that, so if you ever ask me that question, I can go back and get it, but I don't have it right here, it's about
Pretty
50
much-
feet away.
But it's not a
Pretty much,
fund.
the bottom
But it's
line
not.
is, we have, our vehicles are over 10 years old.
Yep.
We need vehicles for snow. I know from having a snowplow husband that it's necessary. If we have the funds sufficient to purchase this, because I'm looking at this cost, and you can't buy a regular diesel truck for $34,000. So, I mean, the one that you're gonna drive to Walmart, you can't pay $34,000 for it. So, this is just me right now, to kind of nip this in the bud, is, we need these items. Well, they're gonna last us for a while. So I guess the decision is, I'm gonna authorize this to go ahead.
What month does that police car?
I don't know right offhand.
It says, oh.
So, it's more than that,
I guess, you know,
8 or 9?
8 or 9.
I guess one of my issues is, you know, it's a twofold thing. This is one deal, but I'm still concerned with this vehicle fund and knowing what we're setting aside for each department for vehicle replacements and carrying that ongoing total. So 2 years from now, we got, okay, $40,000 in vehicle funds to replace X. You know, the next year, you know, we got to replace it. I mean, his police car's got a dump truck. You know, there's all the different equipment. We got somewhere we need to be tracking that number and knowing what's going in the yearly budgeted in the vehicle funds. Then we know,
You're
okay,
talking
there's that.
about like a depreciation schedule.
Well, yeah, and there would be X dollars here to replace this truck. We just have a pool of money.
We can give you all that probably at your next meeting, to be honest with you. But it's something that we need your input in, because I mean, when we start putting everything in there, from a water system, a sewer system, and just general operational needs in town, you're not gonna be able to afford to set that money aside based on the revenue that you are generating today. I can pretty much assure you of
Right,
that.
because the backhoe and the dump truck would come out on the same period.
Yeah,
You're
And I
looking
mean,
at,
you're
$150,000 right there.
But I mean, in the end result, when we buy it, if it's not been set aside, we don't have to borrow
That's
money
right.
and come up with it.
you wanna start
Either way
setting
you
some
go, it's
aside.
still
You
gonna
need to
come
start
out.
setting some aside, you
Exactly.
absolutely do.
And the only thing, you know, somewhat to what Monica's saying, the good side of this, you know, when we do use that utility bed and the salt spreader, it is a moneymaker. Or like some other things that are not necessarily moneymakers. I mean, we will generate extra money by having this.
We generated almost, I think I reported to you all about $11,000 to the good last winter as a result of what we did. We never really, I don't think, ever billed for the backhoe. I don't think we ever had to use that last year, but, so that was just the pickup truck and the dump truck. And by having 3 vehicles that we can bill VDOT for, one, we're gonna get the roads clean faster, and we're gonna make more money from VDOT. And we know what we can charge for them, because we went up again this year on our rates, because we looked at what you can ask under the Freedom of Information Act, what they're paying, and then you find out and you go, okay, I can bump my rate up a little bit on that, so.
And it'll also help, you know, when we do have snows, the snow removal within the town will be better.
That's
Because
right.
we've got these, are able to do certain things that some of that
That's
bigger
right.
equipment's not able to do.
That's right.
And this truck will pull the generator, right?
Yes,
So it was not gonna sit there
Yep.
and be flooded if we ever have another
I
scare.
mean, like when we pulled the generator this time, we had to get Commonwealth to come move the generator for us, because we don't have anything with the muscle to move that big generator. I hope we never have to move it again, but y'all know, we will at some point.
And this one is set up to do
Yeah,
that.
it's a big F-350s, heavy duty, full wheel.
Sound like it's been decided.
So are you ready to take? 1 second. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Is anyone opposed? Okay. Update on water project.
Just to let y'all know, we had a meeting today on the water project. Things are going along good. They're making some crossover connections on Blue Ridge so they can connect everybody up to the new 12-inch line. They're within about, I'd say about 200, I think it's 220 feet away from the tank. We've kind of gone over that the last week of how that's actually gonna happen. It's fairly complicated up there. What's gotta happen first and second and third and fourth. But that's all been worked out. We've had a minor item crop up with well 4. Telephone line went down again last week before last, and caused us some concerns. The well was actually on and you couldn't shut it off in some cases. So if you're gonna have a problem, it's better that it's on, but anyway, we got that resolved. But Dominion is gonna make us put in a new, for y'all's terminology, a new meter base, but it's not called a meter base, it's called a CT cabinet, and it's about 4 foot by 3 foot. It's gonna be mounted on the outside wall, and it has to be above the 100-year floodplain, and the floor of that building was probably at floodplain when it was built, but the new floodplain level is about 2 feet 8 inches above the floor. So it's gonna be pretty high up on the wall outside, which means Dominion says now we need a platform so we can get up there and read the meter. And, you know, just,
New building.
and then we may need to bring a transformer that's inside, outside, and mount it up out there, because this transformer right now is on the floor level inside, and it would be completely submerged if we did have a 100-year flood, so we may be moving that outside, which means that that platform now gets structurally a lot more beefier, so we're working through all of that, but the good news is everything's still working, all the wells and all that are going to town, but we just gotta figure out some few odds and ends there. I think we're hoping to read meters the end of this month. If everything goes according to plan right now, we're moving right along, and we'll be sending out the first comp bills, hopefully. And one of the things that's come up is we have probably, I'm giving you a round number, 20 to 25 people in town that, for some reason, the house is vacant, mom's gone to a nursing home or something, and they want to keep the water on. And they're going, I shouldn't have to pay $63 a month, nobody lives in that house, blah, 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 blah. Y'all's ordinance that you adopted says they're gonna pay $63 a month. I'm just bringing it to your attention because we were asked to do so. We have several people that are in that situation. We also have a situation where we have several houses that family members come back to the house maybe 3 or 4 times a year. And they're going, do I have to pay the $63 a month? I said, no, you can pay a cutoff fee and we'll cut it off and then charge you a cutoff fee to come cut it on. But I mean, what you all adopted was a system that says basically you're gonna pay $63 a month if you want your water on. I guess I'm asking you, are you happy with that? Or do you want to try to do something because we've got about 20 or 25 people that aren't happy?
So if
Did I sum that up